Welcome to Silverstone. We're here for the Super Pro VAG Trophy and Mark II Golf GTI Championships. The weather is perfect. Looks set to be a great day of racing. We hope you enjoy the show. The VAG Trophy is a fantastic series. Not only is it highly competitive and very good value for money, it's also very family friendly. So much so, we have two father and son duos. Let's go meet them. So, Paul and Tony Taylor, father-son duo we've got here. Question, which one is the best driver?
He is now. I'm getting a bit old.
I think I've always been the better driver, but that's my opinion. So, but well taught, I suppose.
And Paul, how long have you been in the series for?
This is the first full year in this series. We've run in other series and been champions and that, so we're coming along to see if we can be successful in this one. We're 2/3 at Donington, and hoping for a good weekend here at Silverstone.
Barry and Martin Cully, thank you so much for talking to us. So 7 years in VW and you've now moved over to this series. Why?
We run out of money. It's the budget. No, we just couldn't afford it now, but we wanted to keep racing, so this offered us a good opportunity to carry on as we were.
Absolutely. Now tell me, father and son, how does that affect you?
Well, off track it's fine. On track, he moves out the way for me if there's ever an issue. It's he tends to be about 1 to 1.5 seconds a lap slower, so he's kind of registered that fact and now does move out the way.
Final question, Cullys versus the Taylors.
We're good friends. Paul and Martin have a great race, and Tony's in a different class to me, so I don't have to worry about him. But no, we do have great fun, and we do go out Saturday nights and have a beer and a Chinese and things like that. So there's no animosity, but there is no quarter given when we're on the circuit, though. You don't give way to anybody. Yeah.
Well, lots of cars on the grid for the Super Pro VAG Trophy. Once again, Daniel Rose is in pole position with Absalom very close behind. Lots of opportunities for overtaking on the national circuit. It's going to be a good race.
Certainly will be. The cars coming to the grid then for this second meeting of the year for the Super Pro VAG Trophy, and this is our lineup with Daniel Rose in pole position, Tony Absalom alongside him on the front row of the grid, then Ken Lark and Joe McMillan on row 2, Chris Levitt and the ever fast starting Paul Taylor on row 3. Watch for that red Golf as we sit on board with Andrew Aldridge for the start. Red lights on, out they go, and away goes Andrew and the rest of the field as they surge towards Copse Corner for the first time. There's the fast starting Paul Taylor I told you about, and is he going to lead into Copse? He does, from 6th on the grid. Brilliant start from Taylor, overhauling the front 2 rows as the rest of the field surge through the first corner here on the Silverstone National Circuit, and then accelerate on to Maggots and Beckett's. Tony Absalom, though, looking to fight back in the maroon Golf, and Absalom is going to go through here and take the lead as the rest of the field fan out 3 or 4 wide, and Taylor runs wide out, breaks himself. It's Daniel Rose who emerges onto the national straight and lead the race. Paul Taylor rejoins in midfield, and the Class B fight currently being headed up by Paul's father Tony as the field stream through into Brooklands. First time it is Daniel Rose from a hard charging Tony Absalom, and then Joe McMillan, the Seat, in 3rd position. Absalom up onto 3 wheels already through Luffield. He's really pushing in these early stages as he tries to stay with Daniel Rose, but then maybe he's missed a gear, hasn't he? Coming out of Luffield, because Joe McMillan looks to draw alongside the Golf. Is he going to be able to get through as they accelerate along, already to complete the first very short lap of the Silverstone National Circuit? Ken Lark as well in the Corrado, not too far back. Jinking through Copse, and again Absalom onto 3 wheels. He is charging in these early stages. Ken Lark putting the pressure onto McMillan as well as they head on towards Maggots. McMillan's got plenty of power in that set. He draws up onto the tail of Tony Absalom. He can't find his way through. One of the beauties of the Super Pro VAG Trophy is the variety of machinery with so many different characteristics in terms of handling, top-line speed, torque, acceleration. We do get these seesaw battles throughout the field, as we're seeing a little bit further back down the order. Just snatching a break there is Chris Adams as he sets off in pursuit of Brian Passmore. Back to the fight for 2nd position, and still Absalom able to keep McMillan and Lark at bay. There's Ken Lark in the Silver Corrado, but all the while it's enabling Daniel Rose to have his lead blossom here, isn't it? Because he is pulling away from Tony Absalom. That's out to a couple of seconds as they streak through. Another lap completed. Are we going to see a challenge from McMillan into Copse Corner? Well, he thinks about it, he just shadows the inside, shows himself in Absalom's mirrors, but not quite close enough this time around. Further back, Martin Cully having a good tussle with Mike Smith. Cully in the Beetle, showing well. Good to see the Beetles coming into the Super Pro VAG Trophy this season. James Bradley Silverstone in the other Beetle, as turning through Copse Corner there, Martin Cully. Nice precise line, he just runs out a little bit onto the curb on the exit, as does Ken Lark, who is pushing very, very hard. And it's Chris Levitt who's on his tail, and Levitt looking very good at this stage of the race, just minding his own business in 5th position. Simon Gustafsson there in car 109, looking to move up and gain the place on Steve Rowland. As pulling off in the background is Martin Cully, so disappointment there for Cully. Into Luffield once more comes this Absalom and McMillan battle. Will we see the challenge from Joe McMillan this time into Copse Corner? He's trying to get into the slipstream, such as it is, behind Tony Absalom. As further back, Steve Rowland looking to gain a place up onto 3 wheels, the car he was just able to moat. Now is that Simon Gustafsson, who he has immediately repassed? It is, and Gustafsson's really trying here, isn't he? Leading the car still on 3 wheels. He eventually gets all 4 wheels now back onto terra firma as he accelerates through Woodcote. Still side by side between McMillan and Absalom, and Joe McMillan, he thinks about looking inside Tony Absalom into Beckett's. This is a good battle. Absalom though using all the road, no more than that, avoids the curbs into Beckett's, and that propels him nicely onto the national straight. Can McMillan draw alongside into Brooklands, one of the surefire overtaking opportunities here on the national circuit. Well, in Class B, we've got some fantastic racing, haven't we? It's Mark Jenkins who is on the tail of Mike Smith. Smith in 25 car, Jenkins then in the 55 machine. They're having a good battle for Class B podium positions, as the fight for 2nd and 3rd in the race continues on to complete another lap now. Will McMillan be close enough this time round to challenge Absalom? There is the race leader, Daniel Rose. He's not been headed since the early stage, and McMillan's going to go for it. He looks to the inside, Tony Absalom. He's surely going to go through here as Absalom turns across into Copse, and around goes Absalom. Contact between the pair of them. I'm not sure that Tony Absalom gave Joe McMillan enough racing room there, because he really did swoop across his bows. Absalom is stationary and McMillan is ailing. He's done quite a lot of damage there, hasn't he, to the front right of that Seat. I suspect that Joe McMillan could be touring round to retirement, as still this battle continues to rage with Smith just ahead of Jenkins, and then Chris Adams as well, showing well in the 36 car. They accelerate out of Copse past the debris from the McMillan and Absalom incident, that little group at the moment being headed by Steve Rowland, and Jenkins thinks about the move on Mike Smith. Looking to the inside now, he's got to keep that line nice and tight lest Adams be able to wrestle the way through, as Tony Absalom would appear to be into the pits for retirement. It's damage quite clearly to the right rear wheel, and that, I suspect, is not going to be repairable with the time remaining in the race. Meanwhile, Tony Taylor leads Class B, and he leads it quite comfortably, so this is advantage Taylor Senior at the moment, because Paul Taylor, having led the race for a couple of 100 metres, hasn't really shown much since then, unlike Dad Tony, who is well set for a class victory. There's James Bradley Silverstone in the 2nd of the Beetles. Tony Taylor into Beckett, just keeping all 4 wheels on the ground. Very neat line. There is son Paul, who is currently in 4th position, following some of the incidents up ahead of him. But it's a little bit of a lonely 4th at the moment for Paul Taylor, as Bradley Silverstone turns through Luffield. He's got Barry Cully just on his tail. So a better race for Dad Barry, unlike son Martin, who we saw retiring earlier on. Well, here comes Daniel Rose into the closing stage of the race, and Rose looking very, very good here for another victory in the Super Pro VAG Trophy. It's been a super start to the season for Daniel Rose. In 2nd place on the road, it's Ken Lark. However, the news is that Lark has been given a 5-second penalty for not obeying the track limit. So in fact, Ken Lark is really racing Chris Levitt, trying to pull that 5-second buffer over him. We'll see whether he can do that by the time they get to line. So we're rapidly running out of time remaining in this race. Still, Steve Rowland is trying as hard as he dares. He's onto 3 wheels. Around he goes, and that will see him, will certainly lose 1 place, as in to Brooklands for the final time comes Daniel Rose. It's been an imperious performance. He's just got Woodcote to negotiate between himself and another victory in what's proving to be a very successful 2012 season. The checkered flag goes out, and Daniel Rose takes the win here at Silverstone. looking into the background. There's Ken Lark across the line. He comes second on the road, but has he got 5 seconds over Chris Levitt? No, he hasn't. Back of the shot, Levitt goes across the line, the 30 car, and that should give him second. It does. So here's the final results, with Daniel Rose taking the win from Chris Levitt, Ken Lark, Paul Taylor in 4th, Tony Taylor 8th, and winning Class B. Happy drivers then celebrating on the podium. And for Daniel Rose, this champagne business is getting all too familiar. It's been a great start to the year.
Daniel Rose, reigning champion, another strong victory. 3 wins and 3 races.
Yeah, no, couldn't have started it off any better really, could I? Start of this year has just gone to plan. Yeah, they were all spinning off, to be honest. They had me off the line, totally. They had more power, and I thought they were going to keep it together at the bend, but no, they all sort of come together and just give me such a nice buffer, so I just knew I had to drive a qualifying lap. So keep my head down, do what I needed to do, got the win. We've got to have a lot more ballast now, so it may pull us back a little bit, so we'll see.
So with 2 meetings at the season done, this is how championship standings look, with Daniel Rose leading Class A from Joe McMillan and Paul Taylor. In Class B, it's Tony Taylor who heads the way from Martin Walsh and Rob Allam. And in the championship overall, it's Daniel Rose by almost 20 points from Tony Taylor and Martin Walsh.
Well, that is it for part 1. Join us after the break for the Mark II Golf GTI Championships.